starting this year in a way we did not want to, with a member of the Phoenix Police Department shot in the line of duty.
A police officer shot on the job in Phoenix just 1 week after the killing of another officer in California. These cases sobering reminders of the dangers of police work. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. We are following developments tonight in 3 separate attacks on law enforcement. In Northern California, the Oakland community is mourning the loss of an officer who was killed in the line of duty. In Southern California, an officer is recovering tonight after being attacked at a metro station. But we begin in Phoenix. Fox 10's Brian Webb reports an officer there has been shot and a suspect is dead after gunfire early this morning.
It's not on the inside window.
Bullets flying at the Larry H. Miller car dealership today, one of them heading straight for John Harrison's office across the street, but stopped by a double-pane window.
I could see the red lights like next to the white truck, and I'm going, oh my God, I hope nobody got hurt in the garage.
Skyfox shows the scene behind a second dealership building, medical supplies scattered on the ground. Phoenix police say its apprehension team was following a suspect this morning when he drove back behind one of the buildings. But when they tried to arrest him, he did not go quietly, engaging in a shootout with at least 3 officers.
During this exchange of gunfire, one officer was struck. Again, this officer was transported to a local hospital. He is expected to fully recover and has since been released. The suspect in this incident was also transported to a local hospital. He was pronounced deceased there.
Police say the suspect, identified as 30-year-old Junior Reyes, had a history of violence, along with several felonies and warrants, including aggravated assault on an officer, the kind of guy this task force targets.
They go after the worst of the worst, and they're very, very well trained. This is what they do on a day in and day out basis, is they go and catch the worst of the worst.
Back outside the shattered glass, it is a smoking section as well, leaving employees feeling like it's their lucky day, not for selling cars, but just for being alive.
You have to pull a gun out at a dealership, and there's like probably customers over there, salesmen, same over here, but thankfully nothing hit us.
And that was Fox 10's Brian Webb reporting for us tonight from Phoenix. A Los Angeles police officer is recovering tonight after being attacked at a metro station. The officer was injured last night as he worked to clear a train of all passengers before it was taken out of service. Investigators say a homeless man refused to leave the train, and that confrontation turned into a fight. The officer suffered a broken leg. His suspected attacker has been arrested and is facing assault charges. In the Bay Area, people gathered today in Oakland to honor the life of a police officer killed in the line of duty 1 week ago. KTVU's Henry Lee shows us how the community is remembering Officer Tuan Le.
A Buddhist ceremony in honor of fallen Oakland police officer Tuan Le. At Oakland's Chinatown, an office space set aside to pay respect to a son of the city who died while protecting his community. Bowing their heads, Buddhist nuns chanted and recited prayers in a solemn ritual to memorialize a deep loss.
We're here with our hearts grieving. He has helped all of us to get here together.
Oakland police officers were among those who stopped by. Many signed memory books, leaving thoughts of remembrance and condolences. Le was working undercover when he was shot and killed early last Friday while responding to a cannabis burglary along Oakland's Embarcadero. 2 men have been arrested and charged with murder.
Losing Officer Le is also like losing a family member.
Le was of Vietnamese descent, but Oakland Chinatown leader Carl Chan says the broader Asian American community considered him one of their own, an officer as comfortable in West Oakland as he was in Little Saigon.
He was able to be having his big smile, his language ability, and understanding of our culture. So we was able to bridge the gap.
And that was KTVU's Henry Lee reporting for us tonight from the Bay Area. The man arrested in connection with Le's killing has been charged with murder along with a special circumstance alleging he fired out of a vehicle. That means if he's convicted, the suspect could potentially face life in prison without the possibility of parole. The former Colorado police officer convicted of killing Elijah McClain has been sentenced. Randy Rodema will spend 14 months in jail and face 4 years of probation. McClain was stopped by police while walking home in 2019 after a 911 caller reported he looked suspicious. McClain died after being pinned down by officers and injected with the sedative ketamine by paramedics. Today, his mother delivered powerful testimony in court.
The world knows you, Randy Rodema, as an evil person. In the history of Colorado, as well as the history of the world's events, Elijah McClain will always be the hero, and Randy Rodema will always be the villain.
Randy Rodema also addressed the courtroom today and expressed his deepest condolences to the McClain family.
At the same time, I do not think there is anything that I can say that will make this okay. In fact, I know I don't. However, I want the McClain family to know the sadness I feel about Elijah being gone.
A jury convicted him in October of criminally negligent homicide and third-degree assault. In a separate trial, 2 paramedics were recently convicted for injecting McClain with an overdose of that sedative. Their sentencing is going to happen later this year. The U.S. Supreme Court says it will rule on former President Trump's eligibility to run in this year's election. The High Court has agreed to hear arguments on a case out of Colorado. That state's Supreme Court ruled Trump is not eligible to appear on the primary ballot because he engaged in insurrection with his efforts to overturn the 2020 election results in violation of the U.S. Constitution. The unprecedented case will be argued before the justices on February 8th during what is usually a break in the court calendar. Trump is also appealing a similar ruling in Maine. And tomorrow marks 3 years since the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol when a mob of Trump supporters overran that building. Today, President Biden reflected on the day in a campaign event near Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Valley Forge is where General George Washington and his colonial troops survived a brutal winter fighting the British for independence from the monarchy. President Biden said democracy would be jeopardized if former President Trump were to return to the White House.
Imagine had he gone out and said, stop. And still, Trump did nothing. It was among the worst derelictions of duty by a president in American history.
Former President Trump has his focus on Iowa voters. He held campaign events there today, making promises about what he will do if elected to a second term.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical, out-of-control prosecutor in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. And I'm also going to indemnify all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States to protect them from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong actions on crime.
Iowa voters will be holding their caucuses on January 15th. Turning now to our weather tonight, and there are warnings out all across the West about storms that are expected to create dangerous driving conditions over this upcoming weekend. Here is a live look tonight at Interstate 80 in Soda Springs, California, not far away from Lake Tahoe. Conditions in the Sierra are expected to deteriorate overnight. Traffic officials there say the mountains may be difficult to impossible to pass tomorrow with a lot of new snow and wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour. Drivers in the Pacific Northwest are also being warned to expect a whole lot of snow over the weekend. Here's what it looked like earlier today in Whatcom County, Washington. Winter storm warnings are in place for parts of the Cascades through tomorrow night. And farther south, traffic managers in Arizona are also getting ready for storms. They are seeing a lot of snow that is sticking at higher elevations, especially in the central part of the state. And more snow is expected over the weekend. Department of Transportation workers say they're doing what they can to try to keep the roads safe.
We have 200 snowplows statewide. We can position our plows into the right locations, so we've already done that. We had a smaller winter storm earlier this week, so we've been putting de-icer down on the highways.
Officials say it is important for drivers to be prepared for snowy or icy conditions. They suggest you keep an emergency supply kit inside your car during wintry weather. That kit should include blankets, extra warm clothes for everyone who is inside the car, food, water, any needed prescription medications, a fully charged cell phone with a charger, a first aid kit, and a flashlight. Now to some images here from social media from today showing how winter storms are keeping snowplow crews busy in Utah. Several inches of snow fell in the southern part of that state overnight. The Salt Lake City area is getting a lot of snow tonight. The heaviest snow is up in the upper canyons.
With San Francisco in the background, we are talking about rain and snow. Where and how much? Your weekend weather West Coast forecast is coming up.
Also coming up tonight, the owner of a Washington nail salon locked a customer inside her business. The whole thing caught on camera, and it is making the rounds on social media. Coming up on West Coast Wrap, why some nail technicians say they have to do this just to get paid. Plus, swapping fentanyl for tap water. That's what investigators believe one nurse did in Oregon. We'll have the latest on this investigation and tell you how this has affected hospital patients. The Supreme Court is allowing the state of Idaho to continue to enforce its strict abortion ban. Justices say they will hear arguments coming up in April. Until that time, they're putting a lower court ruling on hold, which had blocked Idaho's abortion ban in the case of medical emergencies. This was based on a lawsuit filed by the Biden administration. Idaho's case is the High Court's second major abortion dispute since justices overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022. Video from a nail salon in Washington is getting a whole lot of attention on social media. Fox 13's Nikki Torres spoke with the business owner, who says it shows what some nail technicians say they have to do just to make sure that customers actually pay.
We often hear stories about tangible theft, people who steal from convenience stores, get goods. They also walk out of malls without paying for merchandise. What separates these crimes from those is really just how personal these services are. So some people are now being caught with taking advantage of someone's day, several hours of their workday, only for them to say that they don't want to pay for their labor once it is all said and done. Seen this video before? I bet. It has more than 13 million views on TikTok. Open the door up. The video is being shot from the inside of Perfect Nails and Spa in Federal Way. The woman who shot the video is Leslie, a nail technician.
Yelled in and knocked the door, and you can see in the video, the kid and her mom tried to destroy the door.
Leslie asked us not to show her face for this interview to protect her privacy. She says on the night of December 13th, her last customer asked for a manicure.
But she didn't say anything until finish. When I finished, she say she don't like the color. She say she don't get what she asked for the nail.
Leslie says she explained to the young woman the design she presented would look slightly different as she has shorter nails.
And she said she don't want to pay. I said, okay, if you don't pay, I have to call the police. Come in. She said, okay, just call the police. Come in. But she don't want to pay.
As Leslie called for police, the teenager called her mom.
Her mom coming in front. But I locked the door before the mom come in.
Leslie told them if she paid the $63 that she owed, she'd unlock the door. But the teenager still refused payment, and Leslie says she didn't seem to care that police were on their way.
She talked with her boyfriend, she put a lipstick on, she said she didn't feel ashamed for herself what she do to me at all.
Police came and advised Leslie she shouldn't lock people in. However, Leslie said weeks prior to this incident, she was scammed out of 2 more services. She says these 2 teenagers came in for full sets, then said their mom was on their way to pay the $150 bill.
What they call somebody, I think they call somebody say, my mom come in already. We have to go out and take the money. Okay, I say, okay, you can go. And then they run and they laugh at us.
Leslie tells us she is a single mom of 2 young boys and works hard to give them a good life. Not only does she want to warn other salons, she wants people to be held accountable.
I want people to know that we work hard to raise the kids, to do the business. And we work very hard for that. So I don't want everybody come in and take advantage from us. Yeah.
We did talk with the Federal Way Police Department today. They did say that they regularly get reports for refusal to pay. Now, the incident with the two girls who ran out, that case has been brought to the King County Juvenile Prosecutor's Office. That will determine any charges, if any. And one of the top comments on Leslie's post is why nail salons don't ask for payment up front. She told us that as a nail tech, traditionally that's not how they do it, so it doesn't feel right to ask for that payment up front. However, if this behavior does continue and it happens again, they are going to have to change the way that they do business. In Federal Way, I'm Nikki Torres, Fox 13 News.
In Oregon, 2 people are dead after a nurse allegedly replaced fentanyl IV drips with tap water. This happened at Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center in Medford. Hospital officials reported the matter to police, saying they believed a former employee had stolen the fentanyl and replaced the IV drips with water. Police are still investigating if the patients died as a direct result of the medication theft or tampering. So far, no arrests have been made in this case.
So we do have rain and snow approaching both coasts across the contiguous United States. So let's concentrate on this right here, where we do have a rain-snow mixture right now around Washington State, well into Canada. Meanwhile, clouds are now invading anywhere from Coos Bay to Portland, Oregon, into Medford, Oregon. And then we take a look at the Bay Area, where it was a stellar winter day. Today, 67 degrees in San Rafael, north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Los Angeles, you cleared out nicely. Today it was 63 degrees in San Pedro and a pair of 6s in Long Beach. Now, meanwhile, we're taking a look at anywhere around the Mount Hood Village area, where we are anticipating 6 to 8 inches of snow, higher elevations of snow around I-5. And then we're taking a look at the rain amounts. Look at Portland, Oregon, over 1 inch and a third of precipitation, approaching 1 inch in Seattle, and right there in that northwestern corner of the state of California, Crescent City, with over 0.8 of an inch of rain. So today it was 47 degrees with a mixture of rain, snow in the Seattle area. In San Francisco, a beautiful winter day once the morning dense fog did lift, 62 degrees, which is pretty spot on for this time of the year. And Los Angeles, it was 66 degrees with plentiful sunshine. Meanwhile, as we head towards the Grapevine, out towards the Santa Clarita area, and driving I-10 out towards Hemet and Fontana, I-15 through San Bernardino, lifting up towards the El Cajon Pass, in towards the Mojave Desert, you have a gorgeous weekend slated. But let's go back to the north. Let's head to Seattle, where you will have that rain-snow mix anywhere around the Siskiyou and Cascade Mountains, and then temperatures, meanwhile, into the 40s. In the Bay Area, you're going to start off with clouds, ending up with some rain showers up to about 1/3 of an inch of rain, then frosty temperatures overnight from Sunday through Monday. And Denver, you had some snow, and you will again on Sunday. Taking a look at Los Angeles, a beautiful weekend in store for you. We do have some windy conditions out towards the desert in Phoenix. Otherwise, lots of sunshine. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And that is your West Coast Wrap forecast.
Roberta, thank you. Coming up tonight on West Coast Wrap, wildlife researchers in Arizona confirmed tonight the latest jaguar spotted near Tucson is a new sighting. This means that the big cat caught on camera is not either of the 2 jaguars that have roamed that region in recent years. Officials say they confirmed the jaguar seen in December by analyzing its rosette spotting pattern, which are unique to jaguars, similar to human fingerprints. The new sighting confirmation makes this the 8th jaguar seen in the nation's southwest in the past 30 years. Coming up on West Coast Wrap, a record-setting hike. We'll tell you how this man became the oldest person ever to walk the Grand Canyon from rim to rim. Also, we'll explain what's causing this incredible light show in the Southern California surf. Verizon customers could receive some money as part of a class action settlement. The lawsuit alleged that between January of 2016 and November of 2023, customers were charged undisclosed administrative fees in a, quote, deceptive and unfair manner. The total settlement is proposed to be $100 million. Verizon customers have until this spring to file a claim. Each eligible customer can receive up to $100. Verizon denies any wrongdoing, but says it will amend its customer agreement to include disclosures about administrative charges. Many people working in the cannabis industry understand their jobs come with safety risks. KTVU's Joey Horta takes us inside a dispensary for a look at the security challenges these companies are facing.
Yerba Marketplace is a cannabis dispensary at Judah and 45th in San Francisco, where customers can get a whiff of weed before they buy.
You press this little clear button in the back and the smell kind of just shoots you in the face.
The first thing customers encounter inside is an armed guard, watching over all kinds of cannabis products.
So Space Jams are really fun. They're made out of ice water hash. They're vegan.
Cannabis sales contributed more than $220 million to the California economy in 2022, making retailers a constant target of thieves in businesses where customers often pay with cash.
People are after product first, and in my opinion, cash second.
Former Oakland and San Francisco police officer Chris Eggers worked undercover, just like OPD officer Dwan Lay was doing during the burglary of a cannabis business last Friday when he was shot and killed.
Tragic is an understatement.
Eggers left law enforcement in 2021 to start a cannabis security company.
There are some clients that come to us that have been broken into multiple times, or twice in one night, 3 times in one night, or they're having just a reoccurring issue every couple months.
Eggers provides consulting, security guards, installation, and he claims technology you won't even notice.
This particular facility, we started working with them when we were designing the camera layout, designing the burglary alarm, the access control.
He believes technology drives down security costs by sharing real-time information with law enforcement to prioritize calls for help, speed up response times, and protect retailers from brazen criminals stopping at nothing to get their hands on the merchandise. In Officer Lay's case, a crime that cost him his life.
That incident needs to bring about conversation about how do we affect change.
He believes urgency through technology is a key priority. In San Francisco, Joey Horta, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
A lot of people are showing up to Southern California beaches to see bioluminescent waves lighting up the coast. Red tide has returned to the area, making it possible to see bioluminescent algae in Orange County. These are images that were captured last night in Newport Beach. This phenomenon associated with red tide happens when dinoflagellates, which are single-celled organisms, move in the water. During the daytime, the water appears to be a deep red, brown, or orange color. According to the Scripps Institute of Oceanography, there is no public health warning associated with the red tide. Finally, tonight, a 92-year-old man has set a record that many people half his age probably couldn't accomplish. Alfredo Aliaga of Berlin hiked the Grand Canyon from rim to rim. He, his daughter, and his son-in-law made the 24-mile trek back in October. It took them 2 days to make the climb. The Guinness Book of World Records confirmed this week that he is the oldest person to make that hike. Aliaga said his tips for a long life include healthy food, plenty of water, and walking at least 30 minutes every single day. What an incredible feat. Thank you so much for watching West Coast Wrap tonight. A reminder, you can stay up to date on all the stories we're covering at westcoastwrap.com. And we also want to let you know you can stream all of our shows on your smart TV by downloading the Fox Local app. Have a great night. I'll see you back here next week.